Then there's something called pregnenolone. That's hard to pronounce, pregnenolone. And it encourages the building of myelin sheathing. I usually only do that if someone hits a plateau. So if they're taking it for 9 months and they saw a lot of improvement, but it kind of slowed down, I'll give them a little bit of pregnenolone, and it kind of gets them back on a upgrade again.
Does that work for diets too?
Actually, pregnenolone is used for people to lose weight. Okay.
It sounds like it's going to help you get pregnant.
Yeah, it does. Well, actually, progesterone is made, the body will take pregnenolone and make progesterone out of it. Okay. Now, remember I said support the liver if it's weak so they can digest these things? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to determine whether or not you have a weak liver. If you go on my website called OCDFree.org, I don't know if you can see it down in the corner. It's OC.
Yep, it's nice and clear.
Oh, is it?
OCD-free.org.
Good. Right up there. Because on mine you can't see it. So I guess certain screens you're not going to be able to see it. But I want to talk about how you can determine yourself if you have a weak liver. But if you go on this website, there are 2 questionnaires. One is to see how thin your myelin sheathing is, and the other one is to see how efficient your liver function is. So people who are seriously going to work with this, these guys might want to take those 2 questionnaires.
Now, I realize that you can't get in depth on the liver, but if you have, like my brother has cirrhosis of the liver, so is there still a way to nourish it, or is it beyond help?
It's a lot harder. Once those fibers get hard like that, there's a lot of work. But I have had people that have cirrhosis of the liver, their liver starts softening up, and see a vast improvement.
So there's hope.
Yeah, there's a lot of work, though. And it doesn't always work. It depends how advanced it is. And whether or not they stop doing whatever caused it to be weak. Like, things that can cause cirrhosis of the liver can be alcohol or drugs. It can also be fatty acids taken without a protein.
Well, he was an alcoholic, and he did stop drinking a year ago.
Okay, well, good. Good for him. Yeah, then I would definitely do castor oil packs, and I would give him, start out slowly in the beginning, and then build gradually. But I'd give him a lot of liver cleanse and see if you can get that liver's health back. You know, you could take your liver. Well, now, what they do whenever someone has a liver transplant, whenever there's an organ that is available, they will split the organ in half and transplant half in one person, half in another person. And even those people are on immune suppressant drugs, that liver can regrow back to full function and size.
Oh, wow.
So the liver is amazing what you can do with it. And especially since everything goes through the liver, herbs are liver's best friend. You know, doctors will say, oh, the liver's really hard. Whenever you have liver cancer, you have liver this, it's really hard. Because they're working with chemicals which weaken the liver. Because everything goes through the liver before it gets into the bloodstream. Or most things go through the liver before it gets into the bloodstream. So any chemical will go through the liver and can weaken it, while any herb also goes through the liver and can nourish it.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay, so some of the symptoms are, since the liver helps you digest, you may bloat or pass gas if food you've taken is not fully digested, because it ferments in there. So if you have that, you might have a weak liver. You're supposed to sleep the whole night through without waking up, but if you wake up and look at the clock, or wake up and have to go pee, or fluff your pillows or something like that, that means that your liver is weak. So you should sleep the whole night through. Any kind of female problems, heavy periods, misperiods, endometriosis, fibroids, tenderness in the breast, any of that stuff, or for a man, prostate problems, are usually happening because the liver is not healthy enough to filter out mutated estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone. So if you had any kind of male or female problems, I would suspect the liver's involved. And then the trapezius or trapezoid muscle, I've heard people call it both. I don't know which one people call it officially, but anyhow, that muscle is this muscle that goes down the neck and the top of the shoulders. If that muscle ever gets tight, that indicates that your liver is weak or toxic, because it should be all mushy. And you feel up there, it should be able to be all mushy. If it's not, then your liver's involved. If my liver's involved, or when my liver was involved, because it was, I took liver cleanse formula, and I started with what's on the bottle, and I increased it until I slept the whole night through. And it took a lot in the beginning for me, a whole lot. I usually suggest that people increase it 1 capsule a day per week. Any questions about that? Comments?
Well, I ran out. My muscle's hard, so I have to get back on it again.
Carolyn,
my biggest challenge when I take herbs is remembering to reorder.
Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. You know, you can go on auto ship if you ever want to do that, so realize that's an option. We'll talk about that later on now. Carolyn,
Okay.
have you had any experience with liver cleanse?
Oh, my goodness. I have so many people on liver cleanse. But, you know, if they have a real hard time sleeping at night and they have some of these other symptoms, we start out with a little more than what's on the bottle to get them going a little bit faster.
And do they get to the point that they sleep the whole night through?
They do, definitely. They love it. They keep coming back, so I know they love it.
Okay, great.
They can't do without their liver cleanse.
Yeah, I know. I have a stash of my own.
Mm-hmm.
So, although now, most of the time, to sleep the whole night through, I don't need to take liver cleanse anymore. But it's good stuff. I went buried with my liver cleanse, just in case.
Well, I used to wake up a lot. Now, I still don't sleep the whole night through, but sometimes I wake up and it's like, what happened to my night? Because I'll only wake up once or twice instead of 6 or 7 times.
Right. Well, can you imagine if you stayed on it consistently?
It'd probably be a little scary. Because I'm so accustomed to waking up that I literally, like, I have a moment of panic, like, what happened?
Well, you will get used to it. You will. But what's really important is whenever you are sleeping the whole night through, your body can heal better. You know, you need that rest. And you feel so much better. Whenever you get to the point that you sleep the whole night through, oh, man, what a difference. If you slept the same amount of hours all broken up or the whole night through, it makes a difference.
You have less stress.
Yeah. And it just, you just feel more energized.
Well, I do think better.
Yeah.
I mean, after I get rid of that moment of panic because, like, I've displaced this whole chunk of time.
Yeah, but you'll get used to it. Once you start dreaming every night, then when you wake up during the night, it's like, oh, man. So you'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. And in the meantime, it's not just the sleeping the whole night through. It's the fact that that indicates that your liver is in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, now, there's, besides the fatty
Oh,
acid...
the night driving, too. That's another symptom.
Right. But that's usually whenever it's really trashed.
Yeah.
But you're right. The night vision is, when the lights come out, you have a harder time adjusting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing.
I have people tell me, oh, I don't go out at night. Well, why don't you go out at night? They say there's nothing wrong with my night driving, but I don't go out at night.
Well, yeah.
That's why they don't go out at night.
Right. A lot of times people will just adjust to things, and they don't really realize why. Mm-hmm. You know? Like I've already read somebody's eyes, and I'll say, you know, you have poor digestion, they'll burp. And I'll say, no, I don't. No, they do. And I said, well, you just, oh, I never do that. And then someone's next to them, they'll go, yeah, you do it all the time. So a lot of times we're out of tune with our body, you know.